Welcome, class. How is everyone today? Excellent. Well, today we're going to be starting a brand new unit in science all about ecosystems. Can you say ecosystems? Good job. Ecosystems. Yes, that's what we're going to be looking at today. So just like we start every unit off, we want to start with our standard and our objectives. We've got our language objectives and our content objectives. So our standard is AKS 4A, and it's develop a model to describe the role of producers, consumers, and decomposers in a community. Our objectives that we're going to be looking at, our language objectives, is I can take notes to distinguish between producers, consumers, and decomposers, and I can explain the roles of producers, consumers, and decomposers in a community. Our content objectives is I can explain the roles of producers, consumers, and decomposers in a community, and I can develop a model that describes the roles of organisms in a community. So we're really going to be learning a lot of these words that maybe are new to you right now, today in this lesson, okay? So I'm really excited. So every time we start a new unit in science, I like starting with a new phenomenon, something that happens in real life that we are going to be looking at, okay? And our phenomenon, we always relate throughout the unit, and we'll come back to it again. But we like to just look at it and think of notice and wonders, okay? So in your STEM journal, let's see, everyone has their STEM journals out. Go ahead and make a T-chart, okay? And I want your chart to look like this. I want you to have notice on one side and wonder on the other. And I put a magnifying glass on the notice side because it's really, what do you notice when you look closely? When you use a magnifying glass, you look closely at something. So when you're looking closely at the image I'm going to project in just a minute, what are you noticing? What do you see? And you're just going to write that down on the notice side, okay? Then on the wonder side, I put a question mark. These are, what are you wondering? What questions come to mind when you look at the picture that's going to be projected? So go ahead, I love that you already got your chart wrote, you've got your notice and wonder. Excellent, excellent. All right. So, and I've even got it to the side here. Notice is, what do you see? Wonder is, what are you thinking? What questions come to mind, okay? So here is our phenomenon for today. So look closely at this picture. And on the notice side, you're writing down everything that you notice when you look at this picture. Oh, good, I love it. You're noticing certain animals. Good. Oh, you're noticing water. Good. Everything that you notice, I'm going to give you, yes. Ooh, something that I didn't even notice. I love that. Excellent. Yes, everything that you notice, and pay attention to the whole picture, not just things that are up close to you, but the whole picture. What are you noticing? Excellent job. If you think you wrote down everything that you see, everything that you notice, then you can go to your other side. You've got your notice side, go to your wonder side, okay? Good. You can have more than one question. If you've got one wonder, see if you can think of another wonder, okay? Great, great. All right, so it looks like everyone has a notice or wonder or several down, so great job. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take just a minute, and I want you to share one notice and one wonder to your partner, okay? Teach. Okay. Yes, yes, I love it. Uh-huh. Good. So I have a lot of friends saying that they're noticing animals. I love that. Noticing trees. What was that? Oh, you notice water. Good, okay. Oh, you noticed a bear. Okay. Yeah, I see a bear right here. Oh, you noticed the frog? Yes, there is a frog. A duck, deer. Good. Yes, duck and deer. Grass, good. All right, who wants to share a wonder that you maybe had a question about? You wonder what? Oh, you wonder if there's fish in the water. Good. I wonder if fish are in the water. That's a great wonder. Oh, you wonder if this bear is hunting fish or hunting another animal? Good. What if it is the bear hunting food? Is that okay? Good, I love that. All right, let's have one more wonder. Can you share one more wonder? Oh no, you're wondering if the wolves are going to eat the deer? Oh. I wonder if the wolf will eat the deer. Great job with some wonders and noticing things today. I love that. All right, so we're going to keep going. And remember, we'll come back to this every day and look at our phenomenon again and see if we can add more notices and wonders to it, okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to look really into some of the vocabulary words I want you to learn today, okay? So you're going to do another chart in your journal. And this time you're going to have word, definition, picture. And we like to do that because sometimes when we learn a word, we can have a picture in our mind that helps us remember the definition. Okay, so word, definition, picture. That's the chart you're going to do now. And you're going to just add another word every time I teach you a new word, okay? So our first word is producers. So go ahead and write producer in your chart, okay? And then the definition for the word producer is any living thing that makes their own food. So they use sunlight and water and carbon dioxide from the air, and they produce or make their own food. And one way that I help remember that is producer has the word produce in it. So in order to be a producer, they produce their own food by using energy from the sun, okay? Some examples are grass and plants. And anything that grows that's green outside is a producer, okay? They grow on their own. They don't eat other organisms. They just take in sunlight and water, right? So producer, go ahead and write the word producer, definition, which is right here, and draw a picture to help you think of it, okay? I've provided two pictures for you. Producers. Producers are living things that make their own food. All right. The next word is consumers, okay? And consumers has the word consume in it. Consume, to take in, to eat, okay? Consumers cannot make their own food. Can consumers make their own food? No, they cannot. They cannot make their own food, okay? They eat plants and other organisms, all right? It says consumers do this to get the energy they need to move, grow, and survive. So I have a picture here of a cow, and the cow is eating grass. On the slide before this, we had producers, which was the grass, but here we have a consumer, the cow, and it is consuming, it is eating the grass to get energy. So write the word consumer. The definition cannot make their own food, so they have to eat other plants or animals. They have to consume other plants or animals, and then draw a picture, okay? Oh, good question. You don't have to draw a cow. It could be any consumer. Yeah, great question. Okay. Then we have the word decomposers, okay? And decomposers, it looks like I'm breaking something apart. When you decompose something, just like we're learning fractions right now, right? And we can take our fraction 1 whole and we can decompose that to 1/2 plus 1/2. I can take that 1 whole and I can break it apart, right? When we're talking about decomposers in science, it's the same kind of thing. They decompose or break down dead organisms, all right? So I have decomposers or organisms that break down dead organisms to get energy. They also return nutrients from decaying plants and animals back to the soil. So for decomposers here, I have bacteria, I have a worm, and I have a mushroom. Okay? Those are all examples of decomposers that break down dead organisms. All right, so go ahead and write the word, definition, and picture to the word decomposers. Okay. Excellent job, y'all. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video. We love Brain Pop. We're going to watch a Brain Pop video. And if you hear one of these words that we just learned, then I want you to give me spirit fingers, okay? Because they're going to be in this video. You may hear some words like ecosystems or community that were also in our objectives. There are some key vocabulary words that we're going to know, and you can add those to your chart as well. Okay, so listen for important words and important vocabulary. That's that academic vocabulary we're working on. Listen for those and write those down in your chart, okay? So here we go. Start the video, and you're adding to your notes, and you're doing spirit fingers when you hear a word.
Nothing will stop my diabolical plan to sink Tasmania. Certainly not some woodland runt.
You may be an evil genius, Dr. Platypus, but let's get one thing straight. Rabbits are not
Hey, Moby, I think I see a mountain cottontail. This isn't what I meant when I invited you to come rabbit watching with me. Dear Tim and Moby, taking care of my pet bunny, Pebbles, is a lot of work. How do all the rabbits in the forest take care of themselves? From Kira. Aw, look, it's a picture of Pebbles. I don't have a pet rabbit, but I know they need at least a few basic things. A home, food, water, and waste cleanup. Wild rabbits need all that too, but they get it from their ecosystem. A group of living things interacting with each other and their environment. It can include thousands of different species or types of organisms. Here, it's brush rabbits, redwoods, and gray foxes, plus countless species of birds, plants, insects, and microbes. Every individual is part of a population. All the members of the same species live there. And all of the populations in an ecosystem form its community. Their differences give this ecosystem the power to support so much life. One creature's trash is another's treasure. A problem for one species is an opportunity for another. In ecosystems, living things form a network that provides for each of their needs. You're right, the environment's really important too. You'll never find rabbits living underwater. Like all organisms, they need the right habitat or place to live. Somewhere with air to breathe and land to hop around. Their habitat also has to include other living things, like grasses to munch and bushes to hide in. Those organisms help rabbits survive. Other creatures in the community make it harder. Yeah, that word, community, can make it sound like everyone's looking out for each other. They're not. Up close, individuals are often fighting one another for survival. But this struggle helps keep the ecosystem as a whole stable. If every individual survived and reproduced, populations would keep growing endlessly. Which doesn't happen because resources like space and water are limited. Ecosystems force species to make the most of what's available. Their success depends on how effectively they can use the living and non-living things in their habitat. This activity defines the species' role or niche in an ecosystem. Well, niches fall into three big categories, and they all have to do with food. First up, producers. They make their own food, usually with energy from sunlight. Producers are the power plant of every ecosystem, whether on land or at sea. They bring in energy, and organisms throughout the ecosystem use it up. On land, most producers are plants. They use most of the energy they get from sunlight to live, grow, and reproduce. And they store the rest of it in their bodies. eat or consume other organisms to survive, they're called consumers. If a fox eats a bunny, then it gets some of the energy the bunny got from plants. So, all the energy in ecosystems ultimately comes from the sun. Now, bunnies and foxes do a lot more than just consume. When rabbits eat plants, they can help spread that plant's seeds. When foxes eat other animals, they leave some scraps behind. Those scraps become food for scavengers, like certain insects. And whatever's left goes to my personal favorites, the decomposers. This group includes fungi, like mushrooms, and many microbes, like bacteria. For them, food is dead stuff and poop. Decomposers break all that down and return the nutrients to the environment. If it weren't for them, nasty stuff would just pile up, like if you've never cleaned your rabbit's litter box. Decomposers recycle the matter back into the soil, water, and air. Yeah, it's weird to think about. Living and non-living things are made of the same ingredients, just rearranged.
All right, so we're going to stop it right there. But I did see some spirit fingers when we heard those words, producers, consumers, and decomposers. So excellent. I wanted you to hear that and see those examples in the video as well. Now, we're going to do what I like to call mirror with words. When I say mirror with words, you say mirror with words, and you repeat and copy the words and the motions that I do, okay? So we're going to review our three big words we learned today, okay? Producers, consumers, and decomposers. So mirror with words, good. Every producer produces their own food. Good. Let's try that again, all together. Every producer produces their own food. Every producer produces their own food. Good. Every consumer consumes other organisms to get their energy. Good. And then decomposers, our last one. Decomposers, good. Break apart dead organisms. So, producers produce their own food. Good. Consumers consume other organisms. Good. And then decomposers break apart dead organisms. Excellent. So you're going to turn and talk to your partner, teach them these three words with these three motions. Ready? Go. Okay. Go ahead. Good. I love that you're doing producers. Produce their own food. Good. Oh, I see you doing this. Consumers consume their own food. Good. Decomposers. Yes. Break apart dead organisms. Excellent. Everyone kiss your brain. All right. I'm very proud of you all for the words and the motions I was seeing and hearing. Now let's look at this diagram. It says, what roles does each organism play in this ecosystem? So here I have an ecosystem. Looking up here, go ahead and tell your partner, what role does each organism play? So go through each one. What role do they play? Go. Okay. Oh, I love it. You're saying the grass is a producer here? Excellent. Yes, the grass is a producer. Good. Keep talking. I love that. Keep talking. Yeah. Oh, good point. All right. Who wants to share out what they're thinking here? Yes. All right. So Sally just said that the grass was a producer because it produces its own food. Yes, that's correct. All right. Who else? Jose, yeah, give it a try. Oh, okay. He said this deer-looking animal. Anyone know what that animal's called? A gazelle. Yeah, a gazelle. So a gazelle is a consumer because it consumes other organisms. It consumes the grass here. Good. All right. Jesus, yeah. The cheetah. Yeah, the cheetah. So he said the cheetah is a consumer because it could consume the other animal here. He thought it was a goat. It's a gazelle. Yeah. Gazelle as well. Good. And we got one more organism up here. Who knows what it could be? There's one more. It does look funny. No, that's not the COVID virus, but it is bacteria, right? So bacteria is a good decomposer. It breaks down dead organisms. Excellent job. Wow. That was fabulous. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to come around and give every group some cards, okay? I've cut them out. They're little cards, and on the cards is an organism, is an animal, okay? We're going to do 2 rounds. Round 1, you're sorting the images and you're creating your own labels for however your group decides, okay? So I've prearranged the groups, so you'll know who you're going to work with, and you're going to just organize these however you see fit, and you can just use your expo marker and write on your table the different groups you put them in, okay? So I'm going to give you just a little bit of time. Pass these out to each group. And then I'm going to have a group working right here at this table. Good, you can sort them. And I'm just going to walk around and see how you're sorting and maybe the reasoning why you're sorting them the way that you are. Oh, so I noticed this group is sorting by animals versus plants. Okay. They've got all their plants in one and then all their animals in one. That's a good way you could sort it. Give you like 1 more minute to sort these. Remember, these you're sorting however you want. You're creating your own labels. There's not a specific right or wrong way to sort them. Okay. All right, time's up. So now we're going to go to round 2. Round 2 is a little different. Round 2, now you're going to sort the images, but you're going to sort them in these 3 categories specifically. Okay, I'm going to give you these labels. I want you to label all 3 of them out at the top and sort your pictures accordingly. So 1 is organisms that make their own food to survive. 2 is organisms that eat other organisms to survive. And 3 is organisms that break down dead organisms to survive. So go ahead now and sort them. And let me go ahead. Here's your 3 labels. Yes, you're going to resort them using those 3 labels, okay? Good. Yep, here's your 3 labels. Here's your 3 labels. You're using the 3 labels I gave you now. Oh, I love it. You said that number 1, organisms that make their own food to survive would be producers. Yeah, you're right. So you said what we're really doing is filtering producers, consumers, and decomposers. Yeah. You know those vocabulary words. That is what we're doing. Great job. Great thinking. All right, check this one here. I'm not sure if that is one that breaks down dead organisms or not. So check it. Think about what that is. Okay. Yeah. Good. Sorting them according to these topics, okay? All right, it looks like everyone's done sorting them. Y'all did a really good job with this. So now go ahead and put your cards back together with the paper clip. I'm going to collect these cards because we'll pull these cards out again tomorrow when we go even further with this standard, okay? So looking back at our AKS, developing a model that describes the roles of producers, consumers, and decomposers in a community, and looking back at our objectives, knowing how to distinguish between producers, consumers, and decomposers, explaining the roles of producers, consumers, and decomposers in a community, and then developing that model, all right? We did a lot of this work. You all in the sorting activity today just distinguished between which ones were producers, consumers, and decomposers when you were sorting them that second round with the labels I gave you. So Great job doing our work with our objectives today. Now what you're going to do for me to be able to assess what you've learned today is we're going to do a little formative, or you can call this a ticket out the door, and you're going to complete it showing me what you know, showing me what you learned, okay? So this formative has 3 tasks. Task 1, and I'll go ahead and pass these out to everybody. Here's the packet. I'm going to just pass everyone out their own. And so task 1 is up here on my slide. It says, which of the following charts best shows the roles in an ecosystem? So you're going to read producer, consumer, decomposer, and which one of these charts has what a producer really is, what a consumer is, and what a decomposer is, okay? So you're going to choose those. Task 2, same my slide. Task 2 says use the model to answer the question. So here's a model for you, and it says, is the frog a producer, consumer, or decomposer? And then it says, then describe the role of the frog in the ecosystem. And that's task 2. And then task 3, so there's only 3 things you're doing on this ticket out the door formative. Task 3 says, pick any of the following ecosystems and create a model to show the role of producers, consumers, and decomposers within that ecosystem. So you're choosing which ecosystem you want, a forest, ocean, desert, tundra, or rainforest, and you're going to draw or create a model. It doesn't have to be drawing, but creating a model, we know a model could be any type, right? And it just needs to show the role of producers, consumers, and decomposers within the ecosystem you chose, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pass these out to everybody. And these are gonna be, you're gonna work on these independently because I wanna see what your brain knows, okay? Good. Go ahead and work on those.